We're going to stay in the Eastern Cape with our reporter Zola Sholwana as well. We'll also take you to KwaZulu-Natal as we continue to track the effects of the weather in KZN with Pilam Tembu. Siletiwe Ndlovu is also standing by in Pietermaritzburg in Durban. In that province, around 70 schools impacted by the severe weather. Zola, let's come to you now and to Butterworth, where hundreds of people have been left homeless in this week's heavy rains and flooding. Zola, we're told scores of them are being housed in temporary shelters.
Well, Michelle, this is a home for many people that have been left displaced here in the Butterworth area. You would remember that earlier on we spoke to a ward councillor who was telling us about the devastation or the impact of these floods in many informal settlements here in Butterworth, informal settlements such as Skiti and Zizamele, where we understand that many of those people had built their homes very close to a river that would usually overflow during the rainy season. So they did mention that this is actually the first time where they got to see the damage that they witnessed about 2 days ago here in Butterworth, admitting that, of course, they knew that that river, does overflow during rainfall season, but they never thought that people's homes could literally be, floating in water, and that's really what has been happening in informal settlements. So the people that you are seeing behind me are people that do not have their homes due to the floods that we have been seeing here in the Eastern Cape. As much as this side we haven't recorded any deaths, or rather haven't heard of any deaths, and that was what was confirmed by the district mayor earlier on that we got to speak to of the Amatole district, telling us that as much as we've seen the devastation on the ground, it is nothing compared to what we have seen at Umtata. But many of these people are hopeless, really thinking about their situation, what they have lost due to these floods. Children that you're seeing here have been unable to go to school because many of them have lost their school uniform, and you might have heard one of the victims telling us that they will consider going to schools and asking principals so that they give their children a grace period, considering the fact that they are flood victims at this particular moment. Many of these people are waiting for answers from authorities, the Premier himself, as to what will be done. We know that Human Settlements has been on the ground interacting with residents and trying to find out how they can assist them at this moment. One of the victims who refused to leave his home because he feared that he might lose his belongings mentioned that the only time that they will leave that informal settlement, which is Skiti in this case, is if government relocates them to homes that they've been waiting for many, many years. So these people want to find out from the Premier what's going to happen, because as much as they appreciate this as a temporary measure from authorities, they also want to know what's going to happen moving forward. Will they be taken to houses or homes, or they will be kept here for quite some time? The mayor of the district did mention that there's a lot of work that will need to be done. Relevant departments in this case will have to come together and perhaps come up with strategies on how to assist these people. Those that have relatives nearby will be then told to find shelter or accommodation with those relatives, and of course those that are currently homeless at this point will be accommodated here for quite some time. So we are looking at a situation where these people could possibly be here, Michelle, for days and days to come until something is done, because many of them are saying that they don't even know where to go from here. They've lost valuable documentation. One of the gentlemen that we spoke to mentioned that he's on treatment and he lost that medication and his medical files, his identity document, and at this point he doesn't know where to go. Perhaps at a later stage, departments such as Home Affairs will then have to come and interact with these people and find out who needs that kind of assistance.
Absolutely. Zola Sholwana, thanks for that update. It's such an incredibly difficult situation, particularly with the uncertainty of what will happen next.